What separates ordinary people from those who build extraordinary lives? Is it talent? Is it luck? Is it education, connections, or being born into the right circumstances? For years, people have searched for the answer, hoping to discover the secret formula that creates leaders, champions, and individuals who seem unstoppable in life. But what if the truth is much simpler than you think? What if success doesn't begin with what you have, but with how you think? Every great leader in history started with one invisible advantage. Not money, not status, not resources, but a mindset. Before they built businesses, inspired millions, changed industries, or transformed their communities, they first transformed their thinking. Because leadership is not a title. Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is the ability to control your mind when life becomes difficult. It's the courage to act when others hesitate. It's the discipline to keep moving when everyone else gives up. And champions? Champions are not born. Champions are built. One thought, one decision, one habit at a time. Today we're going to uncover the powerful lessons behind thinking like a leader and growing like a champion. These principles can transform your mindset, your habits, your confidence, and ultimately, your life. If you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever doubted your potential, if you've ever looked at successful people and wondered what they know that you don't, this message is for you. Stay with me until the very end, because the final lesson may completely change the way you see your future. Your next level begins now. Lesson 1. Leaders take responsibility. The foundational architecture of leadership is built upon the bedrock of radical responsibility. In a world that often incentivizes the victim narrative, a true leader recognizes that blaming external variables, be it a volatile economy, a difficult upbringing, or simple misfortune, is a strategic surrender of power. When you blame a circumstance, you are effectively stating that the circumstance has more authority over your life than you do. Responsibility, therefore, is not a weight to be carried with a slumped back, but rather the ultimate tool of empowerment. It is the recognition that while you are not responsible for every event that occurs in your environment, you are 100% responsible for your interpretation of and reaction to those events. This shift in perspective moves an individual from the passenger seat of their destiny into the pilot's chair. To truly understand ownership, one must dissect the anatomy of an excuse. Excuses are comfort mechanisms designed to protect the ego from the sting of failure. When an average person misses a deadline, they might cite a slow internet connection or a family emergency. When a leader misses a deadline, they acknowledge a failure in their systems, their preparation, or their communication. By doing so, they retain the ability to fix the problem. If the internet was the problem, the leader buys a backup hotspot. If a family emergency was the problem, the leader adjusts their buffer time for future projects. By owning the failure, the leader gains the data necessary for future success. Without ownership, failure is just a recurring tragedy. With ownership, failure is a diagnostic tool. This concept extends into the psychological realm of locus of control. Those with an external locus of control believe life happens to them, leading to a state of learned helplessness. Leaders cultivate an internal locus of control, believing they are the primary architects of their outcomes. This isn't just motivational jargon. It is a fundamental rewiring of the brain's approach to problem solving. When you stop looking for someone to point a finger at, your brain is forced to look for a way out. This mental pivot creates a sense of freedom that the blamer can never experience. The blamer is perpetually waiting for the world to change so they can feel better. The leader changes themselves, and the world follows suit. Ask yourself, what in my life have I been avoiding responsibility for? Perhaps it is a stagnant career, a deteriorating relationship, or a declining state of physical health. It is far easier to say, my boss doesn't see my value, than to admit, I haven't made myself indispensable. It is easier to say, my partner is difficult, than to admit, I have failed to communicate my needs effectively. The moment you stop looking for an exit strategy through excuses is the moment you find the entrance to a new reality. Responsibility is the bridge between the life you currently have and the life you actually want, because the moment you own the mess, you finally have the permission to clean it up. Lesson 2. Champions master their daily habits. Greatness is often romanticized as a singular, heroic moment of inspiration, but in reality, it is a mundane accumulation of small wins. Champions understand that while goals provide direction, systems provide progress. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. A goal is a destination on a map, but your habits are the engine and the fuel of the vehicle. If the engine is poorly maintained, no amount of staring at the map will get you to your destination. Therefore, champions focus on the boring work, the repetitive daily rituals that compound over time. They don't wait for a surge of motivation, because motivation is a fickle emotion, whereas a habit is a reliable neurological pathway. The morning routine of a champion is not about aesthetic perfection. It is about psychological sovereignty. By waking up with purpose and protecting the first hour of the day, a leader ensures they are proactive rather than reactive. Most people begin their day by checking notifications, effectively letting the world's demands dictate their mental state. A champion, however, uses this time to train their mind through meditation, reading, or strategic planning. They manage their energy with the same precision that a CFO manages a budget. They understand that focus is a finite resource, and by automating their positive behaviors through habits, they preserve their decision capital for the high-stakes choices that truly matter. The law of compounding is the most powerful force in the universe, and it applies to human behavior just as much as it does to finance. A 1% improvement in a habit every day results in a version of yourself that is 37 times better by the end of a year. Conversely, a 1% decline leads you almost down to zero. This is why small habits are so deceptive. They don't seem to matter in the moment. Skipping one workout won't make you out of shape today, just as reading 10 pages of a book won't make you a genius tonight. But the trajectory created by those choices determines whether your future is unstoppable or weak. Consistency is the secret sauce that separates the amateur from the pro. Winners do not do extraordinary things occasionally. They do ordinary things extraordinarily well, day after day, regardless of how they feel. This discipline creates a psychological armor. When you keep the promises you make to yourself, no matter how small, you build a reservoir of self-trust. This self-trust is the true source of confidence. When a champion steps onto the field or into the boardroom, they aren't hoping for a good outcome. They are relying on the thousands of repetitions they've already completed in the shadows. Their success is simply the public manifestation of their private discipline. Your habits are the architects of your destiny. Choose them with the same care you would choose a life partner. Lesson 3. Leaders make decisions with confidence. Indecision is the silent killer of potential. It is a state of mental paralysis, often disguised as careful consideration or waiting for more information. In reality, prolonged indecision is usually a fear of being wrong. However, for a leader, the only thing worse than a wrong decision is no decision at all. No decision leads to stagnation, erosion of morale, and lost opportunity. Leaders understand that in a fast-moving world, speed is often more valuable than perfect accuracy. A leader would rather make a decision, observe the feedback, and course correct, than stand still while the competition passes them by. Growth begins the moment a choice is made, as every choice forces the universe to provide a reaction. The perfect time is a myth designed to keep people in their comfort zones. If you wait for the stars to align, the wind to be at your back, and every risk to be mitigated, you will spend your entire life in the waiting room. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action. It is a byproduct of it. Many people believe they need to feel confident before they can lead or make a big move. This is an inversion of reality. Confidence is built through the competence-confidence loop. You take an action, you gain a small amount of competence, and that competence gives you the confidence to take a larger action. You cannot think your way into confidence. You must act your way into it. Every time you act despite fear, you are training your nervous system to handle higher levels of complexity and risk. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the judgment that something else is more important than fear. When a leader makes a decision, they are signaling to their team and themselves that they trust their ability to handle the consequences. This trust is contagious. A leader who speaks and acts with conviction provides a psychological anchor for everyone around them. Even if the path is difficult, people will follow someone who knows where they are going. Indecision creates a vacuum of power. Confidence fills it. Your life changes the moment your decisions become stronger than your excuses. An excuse is a reason to stay the same. A decision is a mandate to change. To cultivate this decisiveness, one must practice small-stakes decision-making. Don't spend 20 minutes deciding what to eat. Pick something and move on. Train your brain to recognize that you are a person who decides. As the stakes increase, your decisional muscle will be strong enough to carry the weight. Remember, even a wrong decision provides the data of failure, which is the raw material for future success. Stop overthinking the map and start walking. The path only reveals itself to those who are moving. Lesson 4. Champions grow through adversity. Adversity is not an obstacle to the path. Adversity is the path. The prevailing cultural narrative suggests that a good life is one free of pain, stress, and conflict. Champions know better. They understand that muscle only grows when it is subjected to tension and micro tears. In the same way, human character only expands when it is tested by the fires of adversity. Pain is a biological signal for growth, not a signal to retreat. Every scar a champion carries is a testimony to a battle they survived and a lesson they internalized. Setbacks are not signs that you are on the wrong path. They are the tolls you pay to stay on the right one. The difference between a victim and a victor lies in their relationship with the suck. The victim asks, "Why is this happening to me?" which frames them as a helpless target of a cruel universe. The champion asks, "What is this teaching me?" or "How can I use this?" This shift in inquiry transforms a tragedy into a training ground. Pressure is a privilege. It means there is something at stake, and you are in the arena. If you aren't experiencing resistance, you probably aren't moving uphill. Adversity has a unique way of stripping away the non-essential, forcing you to focus on your core values and your most resilient strategies. The struggles you face today are the resistance training for the responsibilities of tomorrow. If you want to lead 1,000 people, you must first learn to lead yourself through a crisis. If you want to manage $1 million, you must first learn to manage your integrity when you have nothing. The universe rarely gives you the prize before you have proven you can handle the weight of it. Rejection, criticism, and failure are the filters that weed out those who only want the glory without the gory. By refusing to quit, you are signaling your worthiness for the next level of achievement. Grit is the ability to maintain interest and effort toward very long-term goals, despite failure and adversity. When you are in the midst of a storm, remember that storms don't last forever, but the strength you gain from navigating them does. Every leader you admire has a wilderness story, a period of time where everything went wrong, and they were forced to find a deeper level of resolve. That period was not a detour. It was the most important part of their development. Instead of praying for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. When you realize that every challenge is actually a customized curriculum for your personal evolution, you stop fearing the dark and start looking for the light within it. Lesson 5. Leaders invest in personal growth. The most valuable asset you will ever own is your own mind, yet it is often the most neglected. Most people stop their formal education in their early 20s and spend the rest of their lives operating on software that is decades out of date. Leaders, however, view themselves as a work in progress, a beta version that requires constant updates. They understand that their external world is a direct reflection of their internal state. If you want to double your income, you must triple your investment in your personal development. The world does not pay you for your time. It pays you for the value you bring to the marketplace, and your value is limited by your skills, your mindset, and your character. Personal growth is not a hobby. It is a professional obligation. A leader who stops learning stops leading. The moment you believe you have arrived is the moment you start to decline. Lifelong learning involves a multi-pronged approach. Reading deeply in your field and outside of it, seeking out mentors who are 10 steps ahead of you, and engaging in brutal self-reflection. It means having the humility to admit what you don't know and the discipline to go find the answer. In an era of rapid technological change, the ability to unlearn and relearn is the ultimate competitive advantage. If your knowledge isn't growing, your influence is shrinking. Investment in self goes beyond just tactical skills like finance or coding. It involves the soft skills that are actually the hardest to master: emotional intelligence, communication, and resilience. How you treat people, how you handle a disagreement, and how you speak to yourself in the mirror are all areas of growth. Your character is the ceiling of your success. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if your character is weak, your ego or your lack of discipline will eventually sabotage your results. By investing in your character, you are building a foundation that can support a massive structure of success. Ultimately, the person you become is the greatest reward of your labor. The money, the titles, and the accolades are secondary to the version of yourself that is forged through the process of growth. When you prioritize your development, you become a high-value individual who can create success regardless of the environment. You become an attractor for opportunities, high-quality people, and resources. Never be too busy to grow. If you don't have time to read, you don't have time to lead. Make your growth non-negotiable, because the quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your thoughts. You are the architect, the builder, and the building. Never stop refining the design. Is there a specific area of leadership or personal growth you're currently focusing on refining? At the end of the day, leadership is not about standing in front of people. It's about standing firm within yourself. It's about making decisions when fear tries to stop you. It's about building discipline when excuses feel easier. It's about choosing growth when comfort feels safer. And becoming a champion? That doesn't happen overnight. Champions are shaped in quiet mornings when nobody is watching. They are built in difficult seasons when giving up seems easier. They are formed through failures, setbacks, criticism, sacrifice, and relentless persistence. Every challenge you face is preparing you. Every setback is teaching you. Every difficult season is building a stronger version of you. But here's the truth. No one else can think for you. No one else can discipline you. No one else can build your future. That responsibility belongs to you. If you want to lead, start by leading yourself. Lead your thoughts. Lead your emotions. Lead your habits. Lead your actions. Because when you master yourself, you become unstoppable. And remember this, you do not need to have all the answers today. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need everyone to believe in you. You only need one thing, the decision to begin. The moment you choose to think like a leader, you begin to act differently. The moment you act differently, your habits begin to change. The moment your habits change, your future changes. So from this day forward, refuse to think small. Refuse to live average. Refuse to settle for less than your potential. Think like a leader, grow like a champion, and build a life that inspires the world.